Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mina, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys some really interesting news about AI, Apple, and some big advancements in that Apple ecosystem, what we can expect from WWDC happening in June. There's a lot of really great information in this video, and I'm happy you guys are joining me. Now, with recent advancements in AI that we've seen over the past few years, like ChatGPT, there's been a complete paradigm shift in how we expect our computers to work for us. Although these advancements are crazy and things that we couldn't have imagined 5 years ago are happening every day on our computers, it seems like huge companies like Apple are behind the curve. Now, why is that? Well, there's a few reasons that we'll be getting into deeper in this video. Now, as you may have likely experienced, the assistants on our phones that we depend on when our hands are full are woefully underthrottled. Now, if you have an iPhone like me, or the cracked glass on the back, you probably have been met with frustration when dealing with Siri, especially when you just want a simple follow-up question to be understood and the thing that you want to be taken care of, just taken care of without all the hassle. I can't express to you how many times I've asked Siri a simple follow-up question and it's simply responded with,
"Sorry, I didn't quite get that."
I don't want that. I want something that'll actually help me throughout my day. With WWDC coming in June, we can expect a major announcement regarding updates to Apple's ecosystem, their AI development, and much more. According to many sources, Apple is planning to develop Siri into Apple's most powerful AI killer app, which will be standard on the iPhone 16 models and onwards. But a tweet is a tweet, and an X, or are they still called tweets? I don't know. Anyways, that's conjecture. What do we actually have that's a piece of evidence that points us to Apple's AI adventures and what we can expect to see this coming June? Well, I'm glad you asked. A research paper that was quietly dropped by Apple earlier this year outlines a large language model dubbed MM1 seems to have a similar architecture to Meta's Llama 2 and Google's Gemini, meaning the capabilities that we can expect to see might be pretty similar to those pieces of technology. A really interesting tidbit about this research paper outlining MM1 is that this AI model that they've developed is multimodal, meaning it could take advantage of multiple streams of information, including the camera, microphones, and any other sensors that might be on our phones or in our computers. Now, this really interesting development from Apple really opens the door to new possibilities for Siri, where she's actually going to be useful for a lot of us, instead of the outdated, archaic voice assistant that we've all come to know. Apple is undoubtedly using their $180 billion reservoir to play catch up with the competition, which, I love competition. I don't think Apple would have done this without ChatGPT forcing everyone to show their hand, Apple in particular. Now, the fact that this feature is only going to be available on the iPhone 16 and onward may point to dedicated hardware requirements. This is something that a lot of people in the space have been talking about, Apple doing for a long time, because Apple, like no other company, knows how to bridge that gap between hardware and software. That's what makes their ecosystem so engulfing for so many individuals. Now, typically how AI systems work is that a user, such as yourself, would provide an AI with a request or a question. This AI would take that information and send it off to a server where the actual hard computing of this question occurs. It receives a response as a result of that computing, and it returns to your device where it gives you an answer. This back and forth takes a lot of time and energy, and Apple believes that they can do it better. Their solution to this conundrum of speed and time is to integrate the brains of the AI in the phone itself. It's a really interesting idea. I think that it's definitely the right move to go, especially from Apple's perspective, where they're trying to prioritize privacy and speed and responsiveness. And they could really do that with onboard dedicated hardware that they create in-house. Now, I think this is a really interesting response from Apple for a multitude of reasons. One being, this is a great way to sell more iPhones. But two, This really quells a lot of fears that people have in regards to AI, where they don't trust it with their private information, which is probably well-founded because we all know how AI is trained. It's trained with the information that you provide it. But if Apple can consolidate this technology into the iPhone where it's stored locally and things aren't sent off to their servers, you can trust that your information is safe and any sensitive data that the AI comes to understand about you is secure on your phone. That's why we trust Face ID, and when fingerprint scanners were such a big thing, that's why we trusted them too, because they're all locally stored. It's also a huge benefit to Apple to have this on board because that time between asking ChatGPT a question, waiting for the response of the servers, and finally seeing it typed out in front of you is going to seem like an eon compared to the times that you'll have to wait for Apple's AI systems. And finally, another reason why this is really interesting is because it's going to seamlessly integrate with all of your iPhone's native capabilities. It's going to be able to access the camera once you provide permissions. It's going to be able to use information that you've provided Siri in the past. It's going to understand how you actually live your life and how to best assist you. Now, this also introduces some limitations that Apple's going to have to face with integrating the AI chip directly into the new iPhone 16. The primary one being that this lacks upgradability. If you have an iPhone, you already know that Apple does not want you messing with that thing. They don't want any upgrades, and they want you to buy the newest iPhone. So this is an obvious limitation. As OpenAI and Meta and all these other companies are going to be setting out software updates, Apple is likely going to require you to upgrade to the latest iPhone to get the newest and best AI capabilities. Another disadvantage they might have is that their AI might not be as capable as these other competitors if they're trying to prioritize privacy. That means less data that the AI can be trained on, thus less capable responses. But I think Apple's integration into their ecosystem is going to make up for that difference, and I think we're going to see something really interesting this coming June. So, I hear you asking already, how are they going to power this new AI superhero? I hear it from the rooftops. You're not outside, are you? No. Well, I'm glad you asked. Patent US 11907923B2 is how. This patent was for an AI-capable chip that was meant to be put in the iPhone, allegedly, according to sources, who's to say. But it's really interesting that Apple was thinking about adding an AI chip all the way back in 2020. What the future holds. Speaking of holding, I will be holding this in my hand for the remainder of the video. Let me know if you like it more. It'll probably sound worse, truthfully, because it's moving around, but it's fun to hold and it's my video, so I do what I want. I'm crazy like that. Anyways, as I've mentioned throughout this video, we're expecting a really big overhaul of Apple's ecosystem this coming June at WWDC. AI is going to be a really big aspect of this announcement, and we're looking to overhaul Siri entirely. And I think that's long overdue. I've at least been waiting and confused as to why Siri has been lagging behind its competitors for so long. I think this is going to be really good for Apple. If we can expect Siri to have similar capabilities to ChatGPT, it's going to be an absolutely revolutionary technology. It's going to allow people to interact with their phones in ways that they haven't ever before. Now, I think a big part of this that people are kind of skimming over is the ability that we'll have to provide information to our phones and for that voice assistant to use that information and contextualize it for further discussions. For instance, if you tell Siri something about your personality or something about what you want or you need or a request of any form, if Siri was intelligent enough, she would be able to use that information in the coming days, the coming weeks, even a year from now. It'll be able to understand you as a person and use that onboard AI technology to assist you in the best possible way it can. Currently, if you talk to Siri, it has no clue who you are. It's probably going to route you to a Google search, and it's annoying. It's just bad, and that's it. But if we can actually have a pleasant, interesting, and productive conversation with our phones, I think we'd be a lot more willing to leave more tasks up to Siri. You can speak to Siri more so like a friend rather than a voice assistant that barely understands who you are. I think that's really interesting. Also, this coming June, we can expect iOS 18 to drop. Now, this is, of course, going to have a ton of really killer AI features. It's going to revamp the Photos app. I would love to see if the Photos app had some generative AI capabilities in it. For instance, Photoshop has their generative AI fills where you can just type something in and it'll appear in the photo, which is mind-boggling. They also have the pinch, and it will fill in generatively the environment around. I think that'd be really useful for the iPhone, and it would really allow the iPhone to stand above its competitors in that regard. Now, in conclusion, it's really obvious that Apple has made really big strides in AI in the past few years, but we're still yet to see exactly what Tim Apple, that's a deep cut.
We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple.
What Tim Cook and his team are planning on unveiling to the world this coming June. I think it's going to be really exciting news, see this revolutionizing how we interact with our devices. With the privacy that Apple is so well known for, the integrated hardware that Apple is so adept at, and the instantaneous responses that integrated hardware is going to allow us, I think it's going to be a triple threat for any competitors against Apple. Stay tuned for more videos of tech news, reviews, and anything else that you may want to see. Because I'm here for it. And remember to subscribe if you're interested in this, or if you have any other topics you'd love me to discuss, go ahead and comment it down below. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Mina, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.